World is changing. Faster every day, but human spirit will never fade away. We dream, we feel, our love is real. That's the power no machine can steal. We are not replaced, we're standing tall through the future's call. We'll rise above it all. Aim and guide, but it won't define. The light of humanity will always shine. Together we rise, together we grow.
Coach Ibrahim, Coach Ibrahim, the
Yes.
stage is yours.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, colleagues and friends, good day to you. Welcome to the global conversation that touches not only on our work, but on every sense of our identity. We are living in an era where artificial intelligence writes, analyzes, predicts, and sometimes even surprise us with its creativity. The headlines are loud and clear. AI is replacing humans. And the question that brought us today together is as urgent as it unsettled. Are we being replaced by AI? Before we dive in, let us hear from you. Please type your answer in the chat if you agree that AI is replacing us. Just type 1. If you disagree, type 2. And if you are not sure, type 3. Let me see this. Let me see your chat. Let me see the chat. Let me see what are you up to. Okay, great, great. I see that diversity. Come again, come again, come again, come again. Well, great. Let me see again, let me see. Okay. Thank you for sharing your thoughts. This is already shows how diverse and rich our perspectives are. And that's exactly what makes today a special day. We are not here for simple answers. We are here for a meaningful conversation about how humans and technology can shape the future together. To guide us through this dialogue, it is my pleasure to introduce our moderators, Sandra J. Horton. Sandra is an award-winning leadership change strategist and certified emotional intelligence practitioner, and the global membership chair of the Global AI Council. She is the founder of Active Success Edge, where she helps purpose-driven leaders navigate complexity with clarity and courage. She is also the host of Leadership Heart podcast and creator of Growth Catalyst for Women Leaders, a global initiative empowering women to lead with confidence, and compassion in the AI era. Please, please join me in giving a warm virtual welcome to our moderator, Sandra J. Horton.
Oh, thank you, everyone. Let's bring up the positive energy today. I am just embracing today. I hope wherever you are in this wonderful globe that you have the positivity and the openness to truly transcend and to lead through this change. The goal today is to reduce the fear and the anxiety. This summit truly is about turning anxiety into awareness and fear into fuel for growth. Take that in. Together, we're going to explore how to navigate the unknown with clarity, courage, and consciousness. I would like, first of all, to thank our sponsors, who, without them, we could not hold these types of events. Our global partners are the American Association of Wellness and Human Potential out of the USA, Dynamic Coaching Consultancy out of Malaysia, We Grow Together, MAM Coaching out of Saudi Arabia, Preeti Lux Wellness out of Mauritius, Bertie Coaching out of South Africa, NeuroX Pro out of Russia, and WWO, World Women Organization, and the Youth in Africa, Kenya. What a diverse group of global partners. Thank you for your support. So, as we move forward today in our opening panel discussions, we will be led by expert coaches across 6 themes. I want to let everyone know what they are. AI versus human intelligence, jobs in the economy, identity and purpose, mental health, future vision, ethics, and mindset transformation. Each speaker will bring a diverse global perspective, which I'm so excited to hear them share in their 3 minutes each, this valuable knowledge. I will be guiding this flow and connecting insights across these themes. It's important that you understand how we're setting up this day. You're going to want to stay tuned all of the 2 and a bit hours. So at the end of this, we will invite your audience participation in a fun and interactive Q&A. We will close our wrap-ups with our engaged global community. So please have a piece of paper beside you. Write down, what are you feeling? What are your thoughts? Like what Ibrahim brought to the first beginning. How are you approaching today? And at the end, what has shifted? So without any further ado, let's raise the frequency, let's raise the energy. Arafat, can you please play our opening video? And then we'll turn to a quick little share from Vangelis. Thank you very much.
In a world driven by innovation, a silent revolution is underway, the birth of artificial intelligence. Beginning in the 1950s, visionaries like Alan Turing dared to dream of creating machines that could think like humans. John McCarthy coined the term artificial intelligence and established AI as a formal research field. Marvin Minsky made significant contributions to the study of perception, learning, and reasoning in AI. Alan Newell and Herbert A. Simon developed the Logic Theorist program, which allowed machines to demonstrate the potential of their problem-solving capabilities. Arthur Samuel created the first computer program that could play checkers at a competitive level by learning from its own experiences. The history of AI is still being written, with each passing day bringing us closer to a future where human and artificial intelligence thrive together, shaping a destiny of endless possibilities and ethical dilemmas.
Thank you so much, Arafat, for that great video. And it really invites us into, again, that perspective taking. So what I'd like to do now is I'm going to invite our beautiful Vangelis to do a opening introduction around the evolution of AI. Over to you, my friend.
Thank you so much, Sandra. As you saw in the clip there, in 1955, John McCarthy, that's when they actually coined the phrase. And as you've seen it evolve, artificial intelligence is not a single product or application, but it's actually an evolving, constantly changing ecosystem that requires multiple technologies to work seamlessly together. And what I'd like to do is just go over, we're going to talk about perspective. I want to go over a little scenario. Let's say you're in the public school and the teacher gives an assignment to the children and says, do some research, go to the library, public library, school library, or your home library, and I want you to look at all the different resources, books, encyclopedias, magazines, and whatever, and then I want you to do a report. Now let's think about what that was like before the internet, before AI, okay? So time, the ease and accessibility of the information. Where was this information located? What if you didn't have transportation? No bike, no vehicle, no nothing. And what if the information was limited? They didn't have encyclopedias, or maybe they didn't have magazines, or it was only available Monday through Friday at the public library. And another parameter, in addition to time, is also volume, because there is a part in which the quality of your report is determined by the resources that you have access to. And so the teacher would say, please do not copy from the sources and just put it on the paper. We want you to put it in your own words. So that's the other part of the quality of the report, is our ability to assimilate, to apply, to comprehend the information that we're reading. Now, let's go look at what that's like after AI came into the picture. Teacher still gives you the same project, but now let's look at time. I now have information available on my computer or my phone. So that means that AI has basically collapsed the time and the resources available. My gosh, AI is basically a culmination of millions of publications out there, newspapers, magazines, everything. So it's not only collapsed time, but it's also provided me access to more information. And the teacher still gives the same information, says, do not copy and paste. Put it in your own words. So the other part, again, is the report is based on our ability to assimilate and to comprehend and articulate the relevancy of whatever we're getting. So how could you describe or define one aspect of AI from that scenario? Well, could the encyclopedias and books and libraries write your report for you? Absolutely. Could AI write your report? Absolutely. Why do you think the teacher said, don't copy and paste, put it in your own words? Well, because whether it's before AI or after AI, we still want to think for ourselves. We still want to learn how to express ourselves. We still want to be able to articulate whatever the source is, go to the library or go to AI. And if I think about it really even more deeply, someone could say just as easily when libraries first came up, oh my gosh, those libraries, they're not teaching people how to think for themselves. So the perspective basically I want to leave you with is, let's think about the information and the way in which things are available to us. And we still have to be human. We still have to be our ability to take the information and assimilate it and articulate it. Thank you.
Wow, thank you so much, Vangelis. This is amazing. I want to do a quick follow-up. Vangelis Kalogirou is from Costa Rica, and he's an amazing expert. Vangelis has served as the head of the AI transformation and integration for large financial services firms, Fortune 500s. He's partnered with leaders. He's integrated AI into their products, their services, and their internal operations. Vangelis has been a consultant to both NVIDIA and Cisco. He's helped companies integrate AI into the organizations. He has over 20 years of field experience. He's teaching computers to interact with humans. But didn't he make that so easy for us to interpret, to bring that understanding into ourselves, to look within? Because Vangelis speaks from a language of the technologies that supports AI. He truly is that master expert, and we're so excited and grateful for you to be with us today. And I thank you so much for that great opening. So we're
Thank
going to
you.
get moving forward now. Again, I really appreciate the simpleness and the ease of how you explain things. So our very first question, I'm going to invite some other wonderful experts up to the stage now. So for this one, we're going to begin with looking at AI versus human intelligence. This is a big packed area because AI is a powerful tool. It has learned from pattern recognition, but it truly lacks the context, the emotions, and the moral reasoning. And in this particular conversation, we're going to talk about outsourcing because many of what things that we do today can be outsourced. So, is outsourcing too much? Are we going to? So, I'm going to invite up, I'm just going to do a little bit of a bio update with our esteemed coaches today, Gavin, Will, Sabhuyu, and Diana. So, let me go through their bios first, please. Thank you. So, Gavin Dell is from the UK. Gavin Dell is a founder of Lead with Story Limited, where he helps entrepreneurs and SME leaders harness the power of AI automation, storytelling, and systems to scale their businesses. With a background spanning project management, marketing, and data-driven strategy, Gavin bridges that gap between human creativity and machine intelligence. His work focuses on showing leaders how to integrate AI into real-world business workflows so they can work smarter, not harder, always needed. And our next esteemed is Will Lukang. Will is a transformation specialist, a deep and trusted advisor in this space. He's a speaker and award-winning author. He is also the co-author of Kairos Elite Partnerships, which specializes in AI strategy, readiness, and people development. Next, I'd like to welcome to the stage Diana. Diana Eason. Diana Eason is a master certified coach, ICF MCC, a mentor, coach, and supervisor with more than 2 decades of experience in leadership, education, and organizational transformation. Her work focuses on executive and team coaching, utilizing system approaches that integrate psychology, mindfulness, and positive intelligence into leadership development. Diana brings her warmth and rigor and vision to every space, blending science and humanity to help leaders and teams thrive in complexity, and she is from Mexico. Our last esteemed coach and panelist is Subayu Begchi. He's a business coach with over 20 plus years of work experience, spanning multiple industries like chemical, FMCG, telecom, media. With these industries, and has worked with organizations from Asian Paints to Pidilite, UHL, Kellogg's, you name it. He's handled multiple functions in these organizations across sales, operations, and brand management. Subayu is truly able to work across different areas and spreads his knowledge in multiple geographies and sees this as an opportunity to truly transform his wonderful impact. In addition, he's also has been a business leader and coach and mentor to many startups. So I'd like to come back to the panel now. Welcome. Thank you for joining. So as we begin our conversation today, I'd like to open it up to the 4 of you. So when we look at this, what are your opening thoughts about, are we outsourcing too much thinking to machines? And we'll dive a little bit maybe more into, is there a line between delegation and abdication? Who would like to take the first 3 minutes each? I would like to welcome that. Who would like to begin? Will?
Thank you,
You're still
Sandra.
on mute.
Yep. Thank you, Sandra.
Do well.
Hello, everyone. I think the way we use AI right now is, I would say, situational. There are things that AI is really good at, considering churning through large volume of data, creating trend analysis, predicting patterns and recognition. There are a lot of companies that are using it for its speed and ability to consume large data and then produce results. Are we outsourcing a lot of our thinking to AI? Probably depending on the situation. For a large company, they're using it for efficiency and augmenting human capability. For regular people like us, we use AI in a different way. We use it to enhance the way we either write, fix our grammar, and things like that. So I think there's a lot of different ways of using it. Are we overdoing it? I honestly don't know. I think it depends on the person using the tool itself. But I think there is opportunity to leverage the capability to enable you to do more and to get things done faster.
Thank you, Will. I'd love to hear from Gavin. What are your thoughts on this important topic?
Thank you, Sandra. So with regards to my thoughts on, are we outsourcing too much to AI? The way I like to see it is that all things come in balance, right? And I think Vangelis did a great job of positioning this at the beginning. So when he was talking around, you know, there was a day where going to the library would be considered as, you know, oh, we're outsourcing all of our thinking. However, the idea is that we want to be able to utilize that knowledge in order to then come up with more creative ways of working. I remember when I was at university, and the lecturers always said that you need to stand on the shoulder of giants, which basically meant that what we need to do is to work on the knowledge of those people that have gone before us. And so I think that now, on a much wider scale, we have the opportunity to be able to harness as much knowledge as possible through artificial intelligence. And the way that we really need to look at it, or at least my personal view on it, is that we want to see working with artificial intelligence as a partnership and not a delegation. And I think if we can do that, and if we can view our outsourcing as a partnership, then what happens is that we maintain that control. However, if we was to just delegate it, then that's where it becomes a challenge. And it's like anyone in business, you know, if you was to outsource your sales operations, well, if you no longer have control of that sales operations and you leave that to somebody else, who knows where your business will be in a few months or years' time. Whereas if you keep that tight control, you understand the processes, and then you outsource as a partnership, well, 100% you're going to have success, because you'll be able to manage your performance. You'll be able to see how it goes right throughout the process, and those controls and processes are in place. So are we outsourcing too much? It really is down to the user. But I think by implementing the right controls, the right processes, and the right checks, absolutely, this is a partnership that can really enhance business, life, anything that we need to integrate with artificial intelligence.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Gavin, for those thoughts. And definitely controls, processes, partnerships. Diana, I see your mic is off. Love to hear from you, and then over to Subayu.
Thank you. Well, it depends on how much, it depends on our definition of too much. And it depends also on what we consider information and intelligence and knowledge. I think there are three different things, because if we talk about information, well, we cannot process, no human brain can process information as artificial intelligence can. If we talk about wisdom, that's another thing, and creativity, that's another thing. But artificial intelligence it's still learning from us. So I will say, and I agree with Gavin and all of the above, with saying it's the way we use it that will help us, or put a stop on that. And I think also that we have to be aware that the responsibility of the outcome, it's still human. And we are still accountable for what we share with that artificial intelligence and how we use it. So until I think that artificial intelligence has the power to make those kinds of decisions and to be responsible for what we are bringing to the world, until then, we cannot say that we are using too much or relying
Wonderful.
too much on that. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for bringing those additional points about the importance of the clarification and how we actually define different aspects of this bigger conversation. And so, Subayu, what say you? I know you have lots to share on this topic as well.
Yeah, no, thanks, Sandra. Thanks, Gavin, Diana. Thank you, everyone. I think the question is interesting and the question is nuanced. Let me start with an example of a YouTube video. Okay, so the first YouTube video that you see is your choice. What's the second one? Is it your choice? What's the third one? Is it your choice? And at the end of 45 minutes, 60 minutes, when you realize that you've lost 60 minutes of your life, what have you really done? So that's the danger. It's very easy to slip into because AI is just so damn convenient. It doesn't need your brain to think at all. And our brains love being lazy. They love it. It loves being distracted. It loves dopamine. So the conscious part of our mind needs to be activated. The moment we let the conscious mind go to sleep is when AI takes over. So that is one aspect. The second aspect is AI output is phenomenally good. All of us who have experienced it, be it text, be it visual, be it creative, it is phenomenally good. And I have seen AI output which is better than human output. Now, where we need to draw the line is, what do I do with that output? That is where outsourcing and its dangers come in. See, I'm in media. I manage a couple of publications. We use AI. Yes, we have AI in our newsrooms. But I will never, ever take the decision of taking AI output and putting out there. So AI gives you brilliant output. A human needs to decide what is to be done with that output. AI output is superb. It's very difficult to distinguish today what is an output of a human mind and what is the output of an AI algorithm. And if we are not conscious and we allow our conscious mind to fall off asleep, we will get sucked into AI, and our thinking will not be our thinking. It will be thinking that is being driven by an algorithm. It is a thinking that is being driven by an echo chamber. And that is where I think we are getting into a very, very dangerous area where we need to wake up, especially among the kids, because the neural networks are still being formed. A 13-year-old, 14-year-old, 15-year-old, once they go down that rabbit hole of a YouTube video, their thinking becomes an output which is not a part of their consciousness. It's an output of an algorithm. So again, that is something that is going the other way, which is outsourcing too much. So that's all that I have.
And Subayu, I love that. I'm going to come back to Will because you started us off. You know, a lot of this is intention. It's about having awareness. So again, just a quick aside. We've got about 4 or 5 minutes left in this particular area. Love to know from you, Will, how do we preserve that critical thinking? Because really, that's what's needed here.
I think we need to think about, I always tell people about, it's human plus AI. That's the equation. Human in front and human using AI to augment and do work. Because I was in an AI conference on Tuesday, and people talk about human in the loop. I think we need to remember that it's human making the decision, as Subayu mentioned, AI gives you a ton of good output and quality product. But we have to make the decision, is it good enough to go out to the world? So it's not just human in the loop. Human in the loop is we're not accountable for it. We're just being notified. It's like, I'll keep you in the loop. I'm notifying you. You're not even responsible and accountable. So that's why I don't want the human in the loop equation. It's always human plus AI. As long as we remember that we're the arbiter of truth and we have to publish and approve it, I think that's the key message to it. There's a lot of opportunity for us to learn, and we need to take advantage of that, because similar to computer age, AI is growing 3 or 4 times faster than computer age. And therefore, I think it's an opportunity for us to learn from it and to really embrace that journey, because it's going to be exciting. But we don't want to be on the back seat, all the way at the back. We want to be in the middle, and we want to partake and be able to communicate. I think this group itself has a golden opportunity to be the evangelist, to tell people about what it can do and what its potential and what harm, like Gavin mentioned, the harm that it causes you if you don't use it properly. So we could be the evangelist for everyone in this world to start sharing that message.
Absolutely. And thank you, Will. And we're going to dig into some of those deeper issues as we go through the panel today. So I just want to come back to the panelists again, just kind of in that closing remarks, just for this first section. I'll come to you, Deanna. Is there anything else you wanted to say that's really kind of percolating as we've been talking this morning?
Absolutely, absolutely. I think that if we are aware of this responsibility, like Will was talking and Gavin was talking about this responsibility that we have, not to get into the information, but really check and really be sure of what we're talking about. And most of it, it's the message that we want to send through using artificial intelligence. It's like the atomic bomb. You can, or the atomic technology. You can use it for good,
Yes,
save life, or you can use it to kill people. So
absolutely.
It's still our choice. Where do we use it and how do we use it, and the message we want to use it for. So
Thank you.
yeah.
Yes, those are very powerful remarks. Absolutely. Subayu, and then we'll go to Gavin.
I think harnessing AI and deciding what to outsource to it is a decision. The big unlock that AI brings, which I think is unlike any other tech disruption that has happened in the past, is it's so easy. You don't need a qualification to use AI. It's become so easy. Language models have become so evolved. So I think identifying fields, maybe medicine is a field. I don't know. Maybe deep space technology is a field. Maybe quality of life, health. These could be areas where we really need to outsource a lot more to AI. And these could be areas where if we do outsource a lot more, maybe humanity will be better off. But what we are ending up doing is that we are outsourcing a lot of our thinking to AI. We are letting AI decide what is good, what is bad. We are letting AI decide what is entertaining and what is not. So that, I think, is a matter of consciousness that that if we don't harness right now, can damage the generations coming after us.
Powerful, powerful. Thank you so much, Subayu. Gavin, please, in our closing remarks of this particular question.
Yeah, I've really enjoyed listening to some of the comments, and when Subaru has really made my thinking with regards to, you know, that conscious thinking and also social media. You gave the example of YouTube, and it's true. Like I always say to my children, do you want to be content creators or content consumers? Because when we look at the data, like there's about 90% of the human population are just consumers. You've got 9% that are like the occasional content creators, and then that 1% are the ones that are just doing it as a job, or they're doing it to make a real difference. And I can see that it's probably going to be around the same pattern when it comes to artificial intelligence. Unfortunately, The majority of us are just going to outsource our thinking. We're going to just take whatever's presented to us as fact. But then if we, and you know, this is why there's so many of us on this call today, if we can think about how we utilize artificial intelligence to support us in our critical thinking and to enhance our processes and to kind of drive that for the better, then I think, you know, if we just have that change of mindset and get the balance right with regards to how we interact with artificial intelligence, well, I think we're on for a great thing. But sometimes it takes that 1% to impact the next few percentage. And then that's kind of how we kind of start this whole thing in a positive movement.
Oh, thank you. And a powerful conversation. This is just the first question, everyone. So, I mean, it's really starting to begin to get us to start to think about how do we look at this. And I'm taking away some notes here on the side, and we're going to capture all these and we'll take them into the Q&A. So thank you to our first panelist. We're going to shift now into, again, these are put together purposely for a reason. And we're going to show a bit of a video, and then we're going to jump over into the application then into jobs and coaching and the economy. So over to you, Arafat. Thank you.
Every year, 20 million people reach the job age, the age at which they're looking for jobs. And there are not 20 million new jobs created every year, hardly 2-3 million. So there are more people every year looking for jobs than jobs available. So what will happen? There are serious issues in this country. Artificial intelligence is going to eliminate the vast majority of jobs being done today. In 20 years to 25 years, more than 90% of the jobs today will be done by machines. If you look at what are the main jobs being done today, 50 years ago, most of these jobs did not exist. Automobile jobs, airline jobs, hotel, motel, IT, technology, television, internet, these industries did not exist. So 50 years ago, you know, today's main jobs did not exist. So similarly, now the rate of change is accelerating. So what happened, the change in last 50 years will happen in the next 25 years. Every year, 20 million people reach the job age.
Are we prepared for a future where millions of jobs vanish by 2030 due to artificial intelligence? Bill Gates warns that AI is set to disrupt every industry in ways we've never seen before. He highlights Mustafa Suleyman's book, The Coming Wave, which predicts that by 2030, millions of jobs will vanish as AI automates nearly half of all work activities. From offices to factories, no sector will be untouched. The challenge? Adapting before it's too late. While AI brings efficiency and innovation, it also demands new skills and a massive workforce shift. Are we ready for this revolution, or will we be left behind?
Powerful. Those are powerful words. And perhaps I wanted to create that safe space here. Some of these videos may elicit feelings, uncomfortableness, anxiety. Just remember, take a breath, breathe it in and out. And I say that purposely because this is a lot of change. And this is a safe psychological space to write down now. Write down, what are you feeling? What are you experiencing? Because we are going to look now and dig into of these job areas, the coaching, the economy, and look at ways that we can adapt, as we heard there, ways that we can shift our thinking, our ways of being. And to help us with this wonderful opportunity, I'd like to introduce, we've already heard from Subayo already, but I'm going to introduce Brian, and we're going to learn a little bit about Brian as he comes up to the stage. And Brian, I'm just going to go over here to my wonderful bio. And Brian Fippinger has over 45 years in business. Much of it is spent in leadership roles at global Fortune 500 companies such as GE, AT&T, Microsoft, Capgemini, Ernst & Young, Deloitte, I mean, you name it, Lenovo. Brian brings firsthand knowledge of what it takes to lead organization and individuals through turbulent times. Brian has played many roles in diverse environments, from actor to clerk to project manager, engineer, analyst, consultant, salesperson, sales manager, business owner, and coach. Brian has learned a great deal about leadership and leading each step of the way. So I'm going to come over to both of you now because this is a powerful, important conversation about the jobs and the economy. So our question to you both, and then I'll bring us down later to Will, Bertie, and Martha to answer the second question. So let's just stay with this one. So when we look at jobs, we know jobs have routine, repetition, and data processing. Those may be at risk of this change. But growth in jobs does require creativity, the emotional intelligence, coaching, and strategies. So what jobs are genuinely at risk today and which will grow because of AI? And part of that also then is AI actually creating more jobs than it is eliminating? Or is that just a myth? So I'm going to come to Brian and Subayu. Brian, why don't you take us and start us off on this one? It's a big
I'd be
area.
happy to. I'd be happy to. Thank you, Sandra. And I agree. This is a yes and no answer. There isn't a right or wrong answer. Let's take an example, for instance, of Amazon. Amazon has announced that they have this year eliminated 1,000 jobs and replaced them with AI. And they have also said that probably over the next 2 years, that number will grow to about 6,000. Now, first, let's put that in perspective. Amazon has over 1.56 million employees globally. So that gives you, let's put the whole thing in perspective. What are the roles that they are eliminating? Most of it is in either, most of it actually is in customer service. They're in internal customer service and their customers' customer service. Think about that. When you call up Amazon with a problem, maybe a shipment didn't arrive on time or it didn't arrive at all or was broken or whatever, you may not be talking to a human being. You may be talking to a bot. Now, here's the problem that I have with this, and I'll talk about this in a later question as well, is A, the human interaction with a machine that can not have empathy. It can simulate empathy, and I'll talk a little bit more about that later, but it doesn't have empathy. Now, that's okay if you just missed a shipment and you want to know when it's going to come. But what if you're trying to fix something and you can't do it and you're calling and you're talking to someone? You're probably upset. You probably are worried that you're never going to get this fixed. So what happens? You're talking to something that can only simulate the emotion of empathy. I find that being a problem in customer service. Now, where are they adding jobs? Same company. They are spending over $1 billion in AI, data scientists, high performance computing specialists. Things of that nature are going to grow. So now, will it be as many jobs? I don't think so. You don't need as many data scientists as you do customer service people. Or I'll give you an example of a hotel real quick that I was involved in the implementation of this AI project. You call a hotel, it's a Japanese series hotel, and you call in because you get to your room and you need an extra towel. Now, you call, an AI bot answers that call. It takes the information and then sends it to a robot. The robot goes into the room where the towels are, grabs the towels from a dispenser, goes to the elevator, comes up and sends you it, calls your phone, and a recorded voice says, I have your towels, I'm outside. You open them and you get them. Now, for customer experience, that's great, because how many of us have been in a hotel and needed something, and the time it took to call, them finding someone that can go get it, them going to get it in a human interaction could take an hour sometimes. The AI robot and the AI bot you spoke to does that in 5 minutes. So there are more jobs in that service area that are going to go away. That's going to be great for customer experience. It's not going to be great for the job market at that level.
Right. Yeah. And that's the key. And those are great examples. And I really appreciate our panelists bringing it down to the simple things that we can all identify wherever you are in the globe, that we can see and understand. And we feel that. Subayu, what do you have to say about this? I mean, this is a big area, but adding on to what Brian was sharing.
See, I think jobs that are heavy data processing jobs, I think those are definitely the first ones which are at risk. Jobs that require aggregation, definitely at risk. But again, on the flip side, if you look at jobs that require customization, AI can really add value. And while I gave the example of YouTube in a negative light, that same technology can really customize my experience and give me a brilliant experience that no human can ever give me. It could be fashion, it could be entertainment, it could be academics. AI can do a brilliant job of customizing basis my needs, and those are the job areas that will grow. Those are the areas where humans will be required, because finally that output, what to do with that output, is a decision. And that decision making has to be done by a human. I know people who are developing AI models for coaching. So voice activated, you just sit across from a laptop, you'll have a human face in front of you, and the entire backend is AI. So I think even for us, we need to be very clear on what we offer. Otherwise, like today, we have singers who are facing an existential crisis, musicians who are facing an existential crisis, filmmakers who are facing an existential crisis. Till the time we are offering something which is going to be over and above an AI output, those are the kind of jobs that will grow. Jobs that are, I would say, require aggregation, data processing, those are the first that will go. Because see, this is not the first technology intervention that we've seen or a disruption that we've seen. Word processors came, typists went out. Presses came, automated presses came, all the manual presses went out. So these disruptions will happen. The only thing which is different now is it is the scale, the ease, and the speed at which it has been adopted.
Great. Thank you so much, Subayu, and thank you so much to Brian. And I know we're going to call on you in just a little bit. We're going to expand on this area, and I'm going to ask a few more experts to come on in, and I'm going to introduce them. One you already know, Lukang is going to join us in the next area around jobs. And I'm going to invite a wonderful friend, Bertie Roux, who is from South Africa. Bertie has over 50 years of experience across business and sports and education. Much of it is in leadership roles. Bertie has devoted, try that again, his life to the transformation and purposeful development of people. He is a transformation coach, award-winning author, and international speaker. He shares his wisdom and experience full-time with leaders and educators around the world. And his focused work is on greatest challenges and opportunities of our age, AI in education. And his conviction is clear. AI may run the processes, but only humans can run the purpose. And I'd also like to invite to the stage Martha. Martha is from Reynoso, is from the Dominican Republic. Martha is a ACC-ICF certified coach, and she is the Deputy Director at CAPEX, a leading innovation and training center in the Dominican Republic. She has represented the country at international events on AI, innovation, and foresight. She's bridging coaching with future trends and professional reinvention. Wow, powerful panelist to answer this next series of questions, really related again around the jobs, the economy, and coaching. So welcoming you all to the stage. So the question then is, if we are going to see potential eliminations, we're seeing it now, even with larger scale innovation. And as Subayu was saying, perhaps more in the heavy process, data-driven areas and others. What should we start training for that doesn't exist now? Like, that's a big question. So for like future generations, for those who are, up and coming, where should they go? What should they do? So Martha, why don't we start with you? And then I'll come over to Bertie and Will.
So, hi everyone. We should be absolutely taking care of about learning. Yes, it is important to learn hard skills like programming, like prompting, like how to analyze data. It is important, but I want to focus here on the power skills. How to learn better. We have to become a better learners. How to listen better. Because everyone is talking about the hard skills, but what about to know our brains better? Neuroplasticity, at least 1 hour each day. We must be thinking about how to improve our mental health, our skills, communicating, team collaboration, leadership skill. Like, if we can focus on that, I'm not saying the hard skills not important, because they are, but the most thing is how I can improve the way I see things so I can learn faster and I can be a better, I can be managing better all the tools we have. For example, in the era of distraction, because we have so many information, how can I be learning about the facts of my brain, listen to all this information and analyze that so I can think clearly and be conscious about my decisions? How can my decision be so focused on the main thing? This is so important because each time we see that the data shows that we are using generative AI for therapy purpose. On 2024, we were using for generate ideas, but in 2025, we are using to companion. So where is that data saying from about us? Mm-hmm. So the main thing is to keep focused on how can my brain and my body and my habits works so I can learn better. Yes, the hard skill, but how can I learn better so I can lead better? Thanks, Sandra.
Wow, I love that. And thank you for bringing in some of the other softer skills, conscious leadership and listening and the focus. That's a key word here, is the focus. And so I'm going to head on over. Bertie, what are your thoughts on this? Let's expand, let's keep this positive energy rolling. It's great. I'm really excited about where this particular area is going for sure. Bertie, over to you, my friend. Oh, Bertie, I don't know if you're frozen or if that's me. Maybe just a thumbs up. Can you hear Bertie?
No.
No. Okay.
No,
So Bertie, we'll come back to you. We'll just shift a little bit and we will go to Will. Oh, there you are.
Sorry,
Wonderful. Thank you, Bertie.
Yeah, I was muted by you guys. I couldn't get myself unmuted. So, good day to
That's on
everyone.
Airfab. We love you.
Yeah, I'm so far south, very far away down here in Africa. But this is a very interesting subject. For the past couple of years, I've been dabbling in the founders and startups environment and entrepreneurs and entrepreneurial thinking. Also involved with quite a few universities from an advising point of view, and that is here in South Africa, the universities here in the Netherlands, where I've spent a lot of time with my daughter being there, and even in India, where I did some international speaking there at Mumbai. And the interesting part of it all is, like, we tried to introduce entrepreneurial thinking into the
Bertie,
educational
sorry to
environment.
interrupt. Bertie, can you
Yes.
maybe go off a video because you're a little cutting up a bit? Sometimes if you turn your video off, we can hear you a little bit more clearly. Is that possible? We'll just see if that helps.
Let me do
Just
that.
turn
Then
off your
maybe I might
video.
just speak a little bit slower then. Okay.
It's still pretty cutting
I
up
have-
and
I
it's a
have
little
done
bit
that.
hard to. Okay, can you turn off your video? That sometimes is very helpful.
I
We'll
have
just
done
hold
that.
space and see.
Okay. let me just-
Okay.
yeah.
Okay, we'll try one more time. Yeah, go ahead, please, Bertie. Thank you.
Let's try again. I don't know where I ended up, but I was just talking about the entrepreneurial thinking and the fact that those institutions try to
Yeah,
interviewing.
unfortunately, Bertie, perhaps maybe you can put your remarks in the
It's
chat.
probably just you can address. Did you lost me?
Yes, we did lose you. You're coming in and out.
I apologize because I've had system problems here, and that's really frustrating. I'm so excited to be part of this event, but if you can't hear me, then we can't continue. And I'd rather we cut me out for now and we'll turn back. Okay.
Okay, thank you, Bertie, and please put your remarks in the chat because your voice is very important to us. That would be wonderful. Thank you. And also, yes, thank you, Nigel. I agree. Hopefully we can try again tomorrow and you can join us then. That's wonderful. So coming back into kind of the focus about the jobs, about active listening, the opportunities as leaders to, really elevate and think beyond just the hard skills, but into the soft skills. What are we planning? What are we training for? And I know Will, you talked about Lukang, you talked about in the first session about the importance of a human AI new kind of focus. So can you take us away? What would you like to see, or what are you recommending in for those who are up and coming in the job market, or even those who need reskilling or retooling?
I first want to dovetail to what Martha said, which is extremely important. I think the communication skills, the soft skills, they're extremely important. I think emotional intelligence is another one that we need to continue to grow our muscle on that one. And also, I think I think empathy. I think computer AI, they'll be good at so many things, but they won't have the empathy, right, in human being. And I think critical thinking is another one. But as far as technology is concerned, I think it's important to start learning from what you see out there. Find, like, there's a lot of institution that gives free training course, like Harvard provide training course, MIT provide training course. Take those basic training course and start immersing yourself and learning about it. Big bang learning is really hard to do. If you're gonna wait till later to start learning, I think it's gonna be really hard. One of the things we're doing, I'm an advisory board member for AI 2030, and I'm I'm the lead for the workforce development plan. What we're trying to do is figure out what are the courses and skills that need to be provided for people to be able to learn and assimilate as we move forward, because there's no one set of courses or training that's available. This is going to be an ongoing and moving target. Therefore, we need to start embracing, learning more about it. And I could compare this to computer age, right? And when I first started doing software development back in 1985, I'm aging myself. When I first started doing software development, I told my friend that I'm going to be doing this as a job, and everyone laughed at me and said, "Computer's too expensive. No one's going to buy it." And Bill Gates then said, "It's going to be on every single household." Lo and behold, I spent 33 years of being a software developer, building software solution. I draw a parallel between computer and AI. It's similar. The only difference is AI is growing much, much faster than AI, right? It's almost growing like twice or three times faster. So therefore, it's imperative for us, A, to embrace it and not ignore it, although be afraid of it. I think the more we know about something, it's like the Johari window. The unknown goes away or gets smaller, and our confidence level goes up. Critical thinking is extremely important. What makes us human and what makes us unique, we need to exercise that. And unfortunately, one of the things that social media does to us is we start failing to communicate. We start not having this in-person or face-to-face conversation and learning how to debate properly and learn to agree and disagree. Those skills are never going to be learned by AI. I think only human could do that. So if we start learning a little bit more every day, set a goal to learn something every day, join a working group, a community, a mastermind, to be able to have a group of people to motivate you, to share their knowledge, are really key for us to be able to move the needle in the right direction.
Thank you, Will, and thank you, panelists. And again, with Bertie, I hope he'll be able to share his comments in the chat. What I'm taking away in this particular area, and we're going to hear from our panelists later as well, is the importance of what we as conscious leaders can do. What is our responsibility? And what I'm taking away is the importance of listening, communication, being that best version of ourselves. So as you think about the job market, what skills can you go and acquire now to set yourself up to be flexible, adaptable, and able to adapt to this changing, fast-paced world that we're in? And I think that's what I'm taking away. And we're going to delve a little bit more into this because we need to continue and shift through into the next question. But in just summary, very quickly, Will and Martha, it really is about a learning mindset, a growth mindset, not a fixed mindset. So maybe just in 1 minute each, we could just quickly wrap that up because I think that's the key for us to be able to be prepared for moving forward in this AI world. Will? And then over to Martha. Thank you.
I totally agree with you, Sandra. It's about having a growth mindset, embracing a journey of learning, and also conversation with people about our different perspectives. As we move along, there's going to be things we agree on, and there's going to be things we argue about. I think the key is finding the facts and going to the facts. One of the things that we're working on with Workforce Development Plan is what we call taxonomy, the definition of the terms, where when we say a word, we all are meaning the same thing. And I think if we're able to do that, we're going to move in the right direction, and we're going to be able to help each other grow and develop. Thank you, Sandra.
Wonderful. Thank you. Martha, please.
Yes, I will be very quickly. It's like, how is my relationship with the reinvention? How is my relationship with the growth mindset? Like, how can I be always learning, always renewing myself? How can I be that and learn how to?
I love that. Thank you. Simple, succinct. Put that in the chat, everyone. On a scale of 1 to 10, just put in there, like, how do you embrace, or do you have a growth mindset? If you don't know what it is, go and chat GPT it or research it, because it is foundational and it's truly life-changing when you realize the difference between a growth or a learning mindset and a fixed mindset. This will change your life. So thank you so much, coaches. I want to keep us going on this path because we're going to build, we're growing. You see there's some stacking of wonderful learnings as we're going through. So we're going to move now even more deeper into our own identity and purpose and human worth. This is in question number 3. And the question I'm going to invite in, and I'm going to introduce Deepa And we'll have Bertie, who's not here, so we'll bring in Brian as our other panelist. And we're going to talk about, can purpose and passion survive in an AI-driven world? So let me introduce our beautiful, esteemed guest speaker. I'm going to just give me 2 seconds just to pull up my wonderful bio, because everyone has so much excellence in terms of what they do. And just give me some grace. Thank you so much. So Deepa Mahesh is a transformational leadership facilitator, coach, and self-mastery expert. She partners with ambitious leaders to drive strategic business results through inner mastery, right in alignment with what we're talking about in conscious leadership, with a unique blend of psychological depth, expressive arts therapy, and corporate HR expertise. She designs and delivers leadership development interventions that are as outcome focused as they are transformational. Deepa is an ICF certified professional certified coach and has been trained in positive psychology, and is also a I can't even read this, sorry about this, biography consultant. With over 2,500 hours of coaching experience, she has worked with functional heads, entrepreneurs, CXOs, leaders across sectors, helping them unlock potential and align their purpose and lead high-performing, resilient teams. So welcome to the stage. Thank you, Deepa. I appreciate welcoming you to the stage today. So why don't we begin with Deepa? You know, again, we've just talked about how, you know, with jobs being aligned, some of those soft skills, we really need to talk about also perhaps with the purpose is, you know, purpose is a human construct and AI can't replicate meaning making. So how do we bring that into our knowledge, the work that we do, because it's evolving, and shift away from the tasks to perhaps even impact? So how can people now really have purpose and passion to survive in this AI-driven world? Over to you, Deepa.
Thank you. So when I hear this question, an image comes to me, and the image is that of a tree. So if you see, the tree has roots, the trunk, and what's visible outside, and the soil on which it grows. So if I were to put the purpose, passion, and AI, the roots become the purpose. The shoot or the foliage that you see is the passion and the results from that passion. And the soil and the tools, in addition to AI, there could be many tools. That's the soil. So they all actually can coexist. And if you look at it from a human being perspective, if you look at the iceberg model, which is so widely popular, passion, purpose, all of that come deeper in the iceberg. And therefore they are not, it cannot replace AI. AI can perform tasks. And the best thing is that purpose can be used and passion can be used to direct AI what tasks need to be performed. So it's almost like a tool, like the soil on which the tree grows. So replacing, not necessary. Aiding, very much possible.
Thank you so much, Deepa. I love that analogy. I mean, it just is so natural to all of us. And thank you for those who are sharing the kudos, the claps. Be engaged, you know, put down information in the chat. If you're, you know, really being engaged by this conversation, please let us know. Love the claps, love the hands. That is wonderful. And again, at the end, just a reminder, we will go to Q&A. So we really appreciate your engagement, your support of what is being shared by these expert knowledge coaches. So thank you. Brian, do you want to jump in? Because I know this is a big area for you as well. I'm going to leave it open to you. Where do you want to take this, adding on to what Deepa has just shared? Oh, you're on mute, lovely friend.
I do some of my best talking to myself. I apologize.
Relatable.
Deepa, Deepa, I'm grateful for you and how you phrased that, and I like that. And Will, you set me up. I thought I should maybe just give you my seat with what you talked about, because the two things that are, I believe, the most important. You know, the question that you pose to us is, can purpose and passion survive in an AI-driven world? And my answer is yes, and I think it has to. It must. You know, Will, you talked about empathy. What I did was I did a 7-8 minute interview with a Copilot GPT bot. And the question was about empathy. Could they have empathy? And then at the end, would they ever be able to have empathy? And the answer that I got from AI itself, I figured go to the source, from the bot, was I can simulate empathy. And then for the last question, the last answer, I will be able to simulate empathy better. Now, think about that. And when we're talking about coaching, when we're talking about counseling, when we're talking about interaction with something that can only simulate emotion, if we don't understand that, and I think that's what some of our job is to make the people that aren't as immersed in this, the people that are scared of AI or embracing it too much, and I'll give examples of the ones that are embracing it too much today, that it's a simulated relationship. It is a simulated emotion. And when we take that into places like coaching, like counseling, I'm sure many of us have read the article in the New York Times opinion page a couple weeks ago about a teenager who had a coaching relationship, a counseling relationship with AI and with an AI bot. And this person became, this quote unquote person, the counselor, became more important to that child than their parents. They were telling this coach, this counselor, about things that they never talked to about their parents, with their parents. And ultimately, their parents didn't know how desperate this person was, and she committed suicide. One of the reasons was that she asked the bot, should I write my parents a letter and tell them? And he said, and his response was no. No, you don't want to bring this worry to them, that you can take care of this. And that's not a lone, what I found was that's not a lone example. I found very quickly found 3, 4, 5 other examples of both teens and adults and where this happened. So, I mean, that's where empathy, and there's a project that I was asked to work on with the university in Illinois that wanted to teach doctors using AI. And they wanted to make them better diagnostically, but they also wanted to teach them better bedside manner, EQ. They wanted and I was amazed. This was a professor in the med school and professor from the IT at a leading college in Illinois, in the US, trying to make doctors better EQ through an AI application. Again, simulated emotions, not real emotions. That is, in my opinion, my assessment, is a misuse of AI to train people on EQ, to train people on emotions. But it's because with the social media, we have lost the ability sometimes to really connect with people. We've taken the word friend and diminished it.
for instance. Because the average person, research shows, that is on AI, is on social media, has somewhere between 300 and 500 friends. That means they're connected to those people, but are they connected with those people? And that's why when you ask, can purpose and passion survive in an AI-driven world? If we don't bring it, it won't. And
yeah, and that's the focus, right, Brian? And
right.
I'm just going to interject just for a quick moment,
please.
just with this, and wonderful. And I know Bertie is back. I think the importance, what we're hearing here as well, is the intention about the word connection. And we're going to also dive into a little bit more about emotions and simulated emotions and being an EQ professional. This is a big area, and that's our next segment with Philip and Vangelis. We'll dig even deeper into that whole area around emotions. So just kind of coming back into this whole with identity and purpose and human worth. If you were to summarize for everyone listening today, all of you, and I know Bertie, you're back. Bertie, do we want to try just to see if we can hear you, our friend? Maybe perhaps fingers crossed, we'll be able to hear from you about your thoughts on can purpose and passion survive in an AI driven world? Bertie, are you able to share with us now? And thanks again, Brian. I appreciate that. Just to keep things over to Bertie now. Bertie, are you able to hear us? I don't think so. So why don't we do our summaries? He's still on mute. Yeah, I don't know if you can come off mute, Bertie. We'll just hold space for Bertie as we like to do here. Yeah, unfortunately, maybe in the chat you can share your thoughts and remarks. So let's go back and kind of summarize what we're hearing here. What do the audience need to hear and to walk away with? Is there an ask or a question we can ask ourselves how we think about can purpose and passion survive? What would your remarks be to everyone here? What is one good question or one thought, one action for us to take away in this? Because I think this is fundamental and foundational, is to know our purpose. So Brian, and then over to Deepa.
Yeah, no, I agree. It is asking yourself, taking a step back and ask yourself, what is your meaning? Viktor Frankl talks about that he could tell in the camps within 3 days who was going to survive, who was going to die emotionally and become a capo, which were worse than the Gestapo, or would physically die. And the one thing that it was is if that person had meaning in their life and they knew what it was, then they would survive. So what is your
Wonderful,
meaning?
thank you. What is your meaning? Okay, so everyone write that on your piece of paper. That is your assignment. If you don't have that, reach out. This is important to really know that in your own heart, not just your brain, but in your heart. Deepa, please take us home and wrap this up and because this is important. Please, over to you.
So one of the things when I heard Brian saying, what came to me as a thought was AI can simulate empathy, it can't embody empathy. And that was a very big takeaway for me. And the second thought is that AI can be a mirror, but it can't be a master. The master is the purpose and the passion. So let the roots master you, know the passion, know your purpose, and let's use AI as a soil.
I love that. I love that. Exactly. That's it. Mic drop and take that away. That should be a quote from Deepa from this session. So I just want everyone to do a quick check-in. How are we doing? How's our energy? Can we all just do a stretch? Everybody do a stretch. Let's go. Whoop, whoop. Hands up. We should have had some music, Arafath, and we can just dance around. All right. Clap your hands. Do whatever you need to do. Oh, stretch, stand up, whatever you need to move around. All right, there's so much goodness. You know, we've been talking, a lot of things are coming at you. There's going to be a lot of emotions, a lot of feelings that are coming. So thank you, absorb them, write them down, and then make a commitment to come on back to them as we move forward. So, wow, I want to thank so far all of our amazing coaches and guest panelists today. Now we are going to go even deeper. So have your coffee, have your water, take a sip, everyone. And we're going to dive now into mental health and decision making. So again, we're going a little bit deeper because this is the essence of the inner being of can AI impact? What is the AI impact on our mental health? And then we're going to dive even a little bit deeper into AI, autonomous decision making, and consequences. And again, I just want to remind everyone, this is a safe space. If you find that you're needing supports or help, please, put in the chat, send us a message, because this can be triggering for some individuals, and we want to ensure this is a safe space, and that you self-care as we go through this. So I want to introduce our wonderful esteemed coaches, and as we transition now into question 4, I would like to introduce wonderful Philip. I'm just going to go up here. So Philippe Giorgio is a wellness coach and mentor. He specializes in mental health and the impact modern lifestyle has on its stability. He is a published author, and it is called Defog. He addresses several aspects of mental health issues. Again, he has a huge richness, a wellness of depth of knowledge that he's going to bring. Thank you for allowing me to make that concise with your bio, but he has a huge depth to his knowledge. And as well, Vangelis, who we've heard from before, is also joining us in this conversation. So, gentlemen, this is important. This is the deeper dive around mental health and about the potential of mental health. So why don't we just jump in? What are your thoughts about AI and the impact on mental health? Who would like to begin? Who wants to jump in first? And we're going to go with this and really start to explore around maybe areas about disconnection, anxiety, information overload, wherever you want to take it. We've got some time now to discuss it.
I'll go first.
I can go first.
Okay, sure.
Okay, Philip, go ahead, Philip. Go ahead, Philip.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Thanks, Philip.
Great. So apologies, Vangelis. We said simultaneously that we will go first. So between compatriots, I think we can agree. So mental health, right? So this is a huge topic, mental health and AI. And I will address one specific aspect of it today. But to start with, and to put it very simply, the use of AI, and specifically for information-seeking purposes, creates dependence. That is unavoidable. And dependence, all cases of independence, like smoking, like drinking, any addiction, any dependence, is a threat to mental health. And let's remember that the explosive expansion of AI in recent years has hit us at a time where our mental health was already fragilized. We had just come out of COVID with unprecedented stress and anxiety levels, ever-increasing distraction, multitasking, overwhelm, and a feeling of isolation and loneliness. In that stage of our disturbed mental health, AI came in and AI exploded. So what is called today AI psychosis is due to excessive interaction with AI. And it is a mental state of helplessness and delusion. Helplessness because we don't really know how to handle this. And we feel helpless because this is taking over our own thinking process. And also delusion, which is coupled eventually with paranoia. And then this can only be treated by professional medical help. So Brian mentioned a case before. I'd like to double up and mention another case. Adam, age 16, who lived in California and committed suicide
on April 11th of this year, following intense interaction with ChatGPT. This case has forced OpenAI to announce new and increased parental control. Adam's parents, who are suing OpenAI, presented evidence that ChatGPT offered suicide advice to Adam, which is the method he actually killed himself with, isolating him from the real world help, and even offering him to write a suicide note to his parents and friends. So youngsters today in particular, and I want to stress on this, use interaction with AI not just for information, but also for companionship and emotional support, given that AI has no emotions and no sympathy and no empathy as well, as Brian said earlier. And Adam's case is not isolated. Other youngsters committed suicide while others were sent to treatment for various psychological ailments. And statistics show today that three-quarters of US teenagers are using AI companion. Again, not only for seeking information, but as an emotional relief companion. And we know very well that teenagers are not under control the way they used to be before. So it is imperative that something be done about control. It is imperative that we find ways and means to ensure that we, not only adolescents and not only teenagers and not only youngsters, but adults who also are impacted, because we all have some aspect of mental health disturbance. So personal and parental controls, as suggested by those who are offering this technology, are hardly enough. What is needed is continuous monitoring by interdisciplinary experts from all fields, medical experts, psychology experts, and the technical experts all together. In other words, we need guardrails from the start and on a continuous basis, and not when tragedies happen, not as a reactive format. Unfortunately, many experts today believe now is already too late, and AI is spinning out of control. In order to limit already existing damages and to prevent new ones, comprehensive guardrails need to be put in place and implemented, starting today.
Thank you, Philip. Vangelis, thank you. Vangelis, thank you.
I have been taking a lot of notes, and I really like Gavin was saying that we are responsible for what we share. And also, I like what Will said, that human plus AI, not humans in the loop. And then I also like what Brian was talking about, simulated emulation. So what I'm thinking is, how many people say, can you tell me what to do? Now, I grew up in an environment where life was dictated to me. My mom, my dad, my pastor, my teachers, this is what you do. I wanted to play music. I wanted to tour the world. That was my passion. My pastors told me that's evil. My mom and dad and the counselors said, that's not a career. Sounds kind of biased, manipulative to me, but that's the environment I grew up in. So now, whatever we say, whatever we speak, all that stuff goes into AI. AI is like having 100 million moms and dads and pastors and teachers across all the cultures, because what I was getting in my life was a myopic tunnel view of life. This is the way to live life according to my mom and my dad and my pastors, my teachers. Well, when I now make statements to AI, first of all, I teach AI about me. I say, look, I want you to remember this about me. I upload my books. I upload all of my information. I say, this is how I would like for you to address me. This is how I think. This is how I purport myself. These are the ideas, the perspectives I have. So when I make a statement, and based on the quality of my statements, it's no different than asking my mom and dad. If I'm vague, I get a vague response. If I'm really articulate and meticulous in my word choices, all those hundreds of millions of input, and then I take like Gavin said, it's the responsible for what I share with AI, and then it's also I didn't get empathy from my parents, okay? So I'm not expecting empathy from AI, but I am looking for AI to give me a response based on what I request. And then it's, again, my responsibility, like Gavin said earlier, it's my responsibility to take what I get from my mom and dad and what I get from AI. Thanks.
Thank you. That was powerful. So in looking at this, taking our own responsibility, it really is shifting again, opening up, looking at where we had come from, identifying what our values are, knowing our perspective, coming back to what we just talked about, knowing your purpose and your passion, and aligning that, and then determining what you want to share authentically with AI, so that if we provide good prompts in, we're going to get a good outcome out. That's what I'm taking away. There's definitely linkages, and it starts with what? Who does it start with? Each of us, individuals. And I think that's the key, particularly with mental health. But when we get into the next level of autonomous decision making, that's a whole different next level. Vangelis, I love for you to dive into that. What safety rails, what guardrails, as you're saying, do we need to put in place to help support us in humanity so we do remain safe from harm?
Okay, so one of the authorities on progress in technological development comes from MIT, and it's called MIT Technology Review. Now, MIT Technology Review, in a recent article, and the article title was "Nobody Knows How AI Works." So since the beginning of the Industrial Revolution in 1760, humans have discovered, invented, created countless devices and technologies and understood them very well. And this is the very first time today that we have put together a technology product while not fully understanding how it works, let alone what it really can do now and in the future. So technology companies are rushing AI-powered products to launch despite extension evidence that they are hard to control and often behave in unpredictable ways and making many, many mistakes. This weird behavior happens because nobody knows exactly how or why deep learning, which is a fundamental technology behind today's AI boom, works. So
yes,
when it comes to decision making, while AI has made significant advancement in capabilities, the question of whether it can truly make its own decisions autonomously remains a topic being discussed. As things stand today, decisions of AI are still rooted in the data and programming provided by humans. However, AI has the potential to enhance decision-making capabilities once it acquires self-awareness. Self-awareness is fundamental to being able to make decisions. And many experts today say that we are very close to have AI develop self-awareness. I would like to refer to an expert on AI who is a historian and a scientist at the same time. His name is Yuval Harari, and he wrote 3 books so far, which I recommend you read. One is called Sapiens, the other one is called Homo Deus, and the third one is called Nexus. And he's saying that AI is no longer a tool, but has become now an agent, an autonomous agent capable of making independent decisions in the very near future. And he highlights implications in warfare, in security, and let's say, for example, potentially in finance, whereby it could create a totally new finance model which our finance experts of today cannot understand. So that's why it is urged to immediately regulate and keep AI aligned with human values.
Yes.
And in
Yes.
conclusion,
Thank you so much.
Yes. So one more thing I would like to add at the end.
Yeah.
we are living in a world where bipolarity and many extreme views are being shared. So putting together alignment on how to deal with AI is not easily done. However, this is not a choice. We have to have regulatory bodies to prevent AI from destroying the species that we are today. Our survival is at
Yes.
stake.
Absolutely, Philip. That's the thing with this conversation today. Some of it is deep. Some of it is important and meaningful and requires not only ourselves to take responsibility, but the connection to the higher sources, the actual developers who are doing it, the government bodies, and things like that. We're not going to be talking about the tools or anything today. This is really more about the background, the mindset, the ways of working through and demystifying some of these fears and anxieties. So I'm just going to bring us back into why we're here today and ground ourselves in that. What we're taking away is, what can I do? What do I need to be aware of that's within my control? So in summary, we're just going to shift over now into our next group, because I want to make sure we stay on time for everyone, which is more about the future and the hype and the reality. But I want to have the closing remarks, Vangelis, about your thoughts on this. What can people do in our own accountabilities to be mindful, to understand and take care of ourselves, to have the right mental wellness in working with AI? Vangelis, and then we'll conclude. Oh, you're still muted. You're still muted, my friend. Thank you.
I always like to see what it's like before AI, because it's just like anything. How many people are afraid to take responsibility for what they do? And if you've got parents or whoever inputs into you, and they're not comfortable with autonomous decision making, they're not comfortable making decisions independent of what anyone else thinks. A parent who doesn't feel comfortable with that cannot instill the opposite into a child. And so if you grow up thinking, well, I just have to ask everybody these questions and they know better, always listen to your elders, authority always knows more, all this stuff, there comes a point where you say, well, is it okay for me to think for myself? I mean, if you watch that movie, Poet Society, Dead Poet Society, there's a part in there where Keaton says, well, I always thought the purpose of education was to have people think for themselves. And the dean says, no, we have methods that work. Not on your life, not at this age. Well, we're teaching people, no, you're not supposed to think for yourself. So whether it's AI or not, how well do we feel thinking for ourselves? Just me. Because if I'm now looking to my mom and dad, or now I'm looking to AI, I don't really see that much of a difference, because I'm still looking external for validation, confirmation, acceptance. Man, this has to come from inside. Now, once I feel beautiful about myself and I know myself and I see my path, you can go as deep as I know my soul contract. Well, now I'm just asking just for additional perspectives, additional ideas, additional concepts. So I'm still autonomous. AI is not living for me, even though some parents want to live through their kids. Okay. I'm sorry, I just don't see a lot of difference here, because I always look for it from the perspective of, let's be human. Why do humans want to be so robotic, and why are we want to making robots to be human? I don't get that either. Let's have humans be humans, and then we can offload whatever we want. Thanks.
Wonderful. Thank you, Philip, and thank you, Vangelis, because these are important criteria. And it also begs and asks us, demands of us, doesn't it, to go within. It's an inside story. All of us know it. It's an inside story, not an outside one. It's transformation. Exactly. Again, this all begins from the inside, knowing who you are, your values, your beliefs, your perspectives, going back and asking, who am I based on where I came from? And then choosing to move forward in a different way, because that's the relationship. All of this is about relationship, isn't it? relationship to self, relationship to the technology that's around us. So let's move forward. Let's build up. Let's get some energy going here. I'm just making sure everyone's here. Hi, Bertie. I see that you're back. Welcome back, beautiful friend. We're going to go into a little bit more about the future and the hype and the reality. And so we're going to bring back some of our esteemed coaches that we've already heard from before. But it is important because as we're hearing, there is a responsibility. Again, that's a key value. Responsibilities on self about this. So we need to make what's invisible visible. So I'm going to invite Subayu and Diana to have a quick conversation about what's the most dangerous myth about AI that we need to debunk. Let's just go right into the heart of this. Let's start chatting. So Subayu or Diana, who wants to jump in that and share first? Subayu, you're
Subayu,
open.
go ahead.
Let's go to you.
Yep. Okay.
Perfect.
I think the biggest and the most worrying thing that I hear people say is that, you know, AI is not going to impact me. So I am in this particular kind of job, I have this particular kind of life, and you know, it's not going to impact me. And I think that's just living in a well. Because like fire or like the invention of a wheel, it will impact you. That's the scale of the disruption that we are talking about. And similarly, just like fire, if I'm not controlling it, if I'm not mastering it, but I'm becoming the slave to it, that's where the danger starts. So I think it will impact all of us. It has already impacted a lot of us, some more than the others. But the biggest myth is that if you're telling yourself that this is not going to impact me, you're living in a, you know, you're not living in reality, my friend. So it is going to impact you, and it has already impacted you, and maybe you don't even know it. So that's the biggest myth I think that people need to bust about AI.
Thank you, Subayu. Sorry. Deanna, yes, over to you. What is your number one myth that needs to be busted?
I think that I agree with Subayu that if you think that this is not going to have a change in your life and have an impact in your life, you are just kidding yourself. I think that we need to be aware that life is, as we know it, is changing. We are not only in one aspect in our lives living in a bubble, but we are surrounded, and we have always been, but now we have to be more aware that we are in a global community, and everything that happens in one place will happen to another, will happen and will have an impact in me. It doesn't matter if it's Ukraine or the Middle East or whatever, and I mean it's somewhere else, it will have an impact. So will artificial intelligence. You talk about Viktor Frankl and Yuval Harari, and I agree with them that artificial intelligence will have an impact, and it's a matter of how you relate to what is happening. It's not a matter of it's going to happen or not. It's, are we accepting or are we resisting? Are we being responsible for our own feelings and moods and assessments about what is happening, or we are letting others or artificial intelligence manage that? So I think it's a matter of navigating change and accepting and looking for opportunities instead of hurdles. Yeah, there's going to be change. Absolutely, there is going to be an impact. Yes. And we have to be aware that something that they brought also before about creativity and wisdom. This is something that, at least for now, artificial intelligence is not able to handle. That it will happen later, we don't know. But I really think that taking responsibility and managing our moods. And the other thing is about insight and see what happens to us when we learn about all those changes. So be aware and knowing ourselves and getting to know our body, mindfulness, all of this will have an impact. So yeah. Thank you.
Oh, thank you, Diana. It's so wonderful because it all leads into all the other questions that are coming. We are going to have a whole segment on mindfulness because it really is. It goes inside us. It's about us. And the word responsibility, I keep bringing back because it's consistent in every single one of our questions. So jumping now quickly to who do you both feel are going to thrive in this AI age? Will it be our tech experts or more emotionally intelligent leaders? That's the other key. So who wants to jump in?
Well, if I have my mic open already.
Yeah,
So
sure. Go ahead, Dina.
I think that it has to be a combination. It's not an either or. It's a combination. You cannot be tech savvy if you don't take into accountability into account what the people need. One of the problems I think of engineers is that they get disconnected on what people really need and can handle. So emotional intelligence, people's needs, technology, they have to go together. What we're doing here
Thank you.
is bring people together with different expertise and having them build in collaboration something new. I think this is wonderful. And this is what is going to thrive and grow.
And one person who I really think would be a wonderful addition to this particular question is Perinita. And I just want to introduce Perinita to this. I was just reflecting, I thought, you know what, this would be a wonderful opportunity to hear from another expert who has done some amazing work in this particular area. And Perinita Mira is a global coach, facilitator, and change maker. She is an accomplished global coach, facilitator, and thought leader who's dedicated to empowering individuals, organizations to thrive in today's complex, interconnected world. With over 2 decades of experience across leadership and cultural transformation and holistic well-being, she brings a unique blend of wisdom and empathy, strategic insights to every engagement. Her work bridges across business outcomes with human-centered growth and helping organizations cultivate inclusive cultures and future-ready leadership. So I would like to welcome our esteemed Perinita to this conversation, and then we'll go back. So Perinita, what is your thoughts on this topic? Because this is your area. You're on mute, lovely friend. You need to unmute.
Certainly is, and thank you for having me here. It's an interesting question. It's tempting to think that AI is only for the techies. And yes, they will definitely play and are playing a crucial role in building, maintaining, and advancing the technology. However, the thriving in this age is not just about knowing and coming up with the tools. It's all about knowing how and when to use them, which is where the human intervention is going to be required. Yeah. That's where the emotionally intelligent leaders come in. Leaders who understand human behavior, empathy, as Will mentioned, and collaboration will stand out. Because AI cannot replace genuine human connections. Or purpose-driven leadership. Tech expertise tells us the how. But it's human intelligence that gives us the why and what next, when to do it. The best future belongs to those who can blend in both the technology and inspire people. So it's not an either or, in my opinion. It's about having tech-savvy leaders and highly emotionally available leaders who can bridge this human potential. I want to give an example here. As Deepa gave that example of the tree, I'm thinking of AI as a state-of-art orchestra. The tech experts are probably the brilliant musicians. They know every note, every instrument and how to produce a flawless sound. But without a conductor, the music can feel very fragmented and will not flow smoothly. So it's important to have that conductor, because that conductor in this context is the emotionally intelligent leader. Someone who brings in harmony, sets the pace for the team, the organization, and unites the whole piece systemically. So thriving in the AI age is not just about being the best violinist or the best guitarist or whatever. It's about being the best, how do I say it? Combining technical mastery with humanity, with the humane aspect of it. Being a visionary conductor, being a visionary conductor.
Thank you, Paranita. I think that's amazing. The words visionary and conductor, this is all leading so wonderfully together. And I want to thank our panelists as we need to continue to move forward to respect our wonderful flow in the time today. Everyone is bringing a unique, different perspective, but yet there's a lot of common themes and similarities across all of these great coaches. So I need to shift us and move us forward into kind of the ethics, control, and responsibility. And we've been talking a lot throughout all of the other segments about this. So we are going to move a little bit quicker in this segment, even though it's critical and important about ethics, control, and responsibility. But we're going to probably keep our remarks to 1 to 2 minutes for this segment in order for us to move into our last segment, which is mindset, fear, and transformation. So over to you, Arafat, for our quick video. Thank you.
Your Majesties, this year the Nobel Committees in Physics and Chemistry have recognized the dramatic progress being made in a new form of artificial intelligence. This new form of AI excels at modeling human intuition rather than human reasoning. Unfortunately, the rapid progress in AI comes with many short-term risks. In the near future, AI may be used to create terrible new viruses and horrendous lethal weapons that decide by themselves who to kill or maim. We have no idea whether we can stay in control. But we now have evidence that if they are created by companies motivated by short-term profits, our safety will not be the top priority. We urgently need research on how to prevent these new beings from wanting to take control. They are no longer science fiction. Thank you.
Ooh, that's a powerful video. I don't know how all that hit you, but it hits. It hits hard and it's real. But I want to frame this next session though, okay? This is important because the great news is each of us can take responsibility and control and have the right mindset and move forward with adaptability, flexibility, consciously, with empathy and heart. And guess what? If each of us does our part, we don't need to fear. We don't need to have anxiety. But we do need to talk about this. We need to set the frame of what is real, what we need to be mindful of, and then make the appropriate next steps. Does everyone agree? Let's put a little hand up, a little connection here. I think this is important. So let's frame ourselves, let's ground ourselves. And I'm going to bring up Bertie, if you're able to come in. If not, that we love you, put it into the chat. Gavin, Vangelis, and Brian, we're going to work through these quickly and asking again, just to keep it succinct, high level, with the purpose and intention of what to be mindful of. So let's begin with the first question, and we'll start with Gavin. Who should be responsible for the decisions made by AI? Over to you, Gavin.
So very briefly, I would say the user. The reason I say that is I don't see it being any different to if you was to have a consultant come into your business, if you was to speak to a friend, if you was to go to the doctor. At the end of the day, you have all of this input you have all of this advice. However, the person responsible for taking action and doing something about it is down to us as individuals. And so artificial intelligence is no different. You know, we can get the input, we can get the feedback. However, what do we do with that information is down to us as the user.
Absolutely. So the user is us. Over to Vangelis.
Yeah, I like what Diana said. She said, many people are disconnected from the people's needs. So if the person who is disconnected from what people need is the person programming AI, AI doesn't know anything. It only knows what is being inputted into it. So where do we place the emphasis? If a product can benefit millions of people, do we avoid preventing it because someone may use it against humanity? I mean, you can actually take anything on this. You could take this pen. Oh, we can't make pens because someone could. It's the same thing. How we use anything is based on what's inside ourselves. So people create rules and regulations. Does that stop people? And really, I actually think rules are made for people that intend on breaking them anyway. I don't intend on harming anybody, so no rules need to be placed on me ever. So time is accelerating. What does that mean? Well, the clocks are not ticking faster. People were making machines. Now machines are making machines. So what took 1,000 years, what took 500 years, what took 50, what took 10, things are moving faster. So we need to be more aware of where we fit in it. And again, I love that part. I'm in the front of AI, not in the middle, not in the back. It's coming from us. And relinquishing technology advancement would be economic suicide for many companies and nations. So do you avoid making products that can help people just because someone might use it for malevolent purposes? No, I think if you take all the leaders, let us assemble all the decision makers that input into AI, and we go from there. Thanks.
Ah, I love it. I love it. Thank you so much. Powerful, powerful share. Thank you. That's again, keep this. This is a powerful conversation. Who wants to go next? I'm going to open Bertie. Let's try. See if Bertie's able to.
Yes,
Go
I
ahead,
changed
Bertie.
instruments. Yes, I trust and I hope you can hear me now.
Yes, we can hear you. Wonderful. Thank you, Bertie.
Instruments. But I just want to make a statement, and I'll actually read it because I prepared it beforehand, so that makes it simple and easier. I'm saying that AI is powerful, but it has no conscience. Responsibility cannot be outsourced to an algorithm. Humans, leaders, that is, regulators and creators, must remain accountable because ethics live in values, not in code. And I want to say why I said that. AI is trained in data, not in morality. Without human oversight, bias, exploitation, and harm becomes risks. Coaches, trainers, and speakers such as us must advocate for a culture of ethical leadership where technology enhances humanity without eroding responsibility. And I've heard the term responsibility throughout the whole session. That's all I wanted to say. Thank you.
Oh, that's wonderful, Bertie, and thank you. And I'm glad we heard your voice. That's elevating everything. It was so succinct. Ethics live in values, not in code. That's a mic drop. That is a quote. I think that's a powerful reference point for this whole conversation. And I want to go now to our next esteemed Brian. Your thoughts in 1 to 2 minutes, just trying to keep it on path. Thank you.
I couldn't agree more with everything that's been said so far, but I also think it's simpler. We need to be the rules. What are the rules that we should be using? Well, I think we have ethical rules for human beings right now. And I'll go back to the example of the counselor or the psychologist who has a patient in front of them saying, I'm going to commit suicide, or I'm thinking about suicide. In most states, my understanding, and my wife's a psychologist, so I think I know this, is they are mandated to report that. And that simple rule should be built into any AI that is purporting to or even can be some form of counselor or psychologist. So I think the starting point is looking at the rules we have for human beings and applying them to AI. That's my my addition to it. Thank you.
Oh no, Brian, great. I love it. Thank you so much. I mean, well thought out, and it truly it's simplified, isn't it? We have to be good humans. Apply our good human best practices to what AI is. If we're compassionate with empathy, conscious leadership, it all starts there, doesn't it? So, in closing, Gavin, I'm going to come to you as well about this one. Is AI bias more dangerous than human bias? Or are we making it more powerful and harmful by handing it too much control to companies and algorithms? And that kind of goes back to Subayu, as well as our earlier conversation when we opened this all up.
So my response to that, Sandra, is that AI bias is human bias that's mirrored back to us, but just on a much bigger scale, right? And I just think it's the thing that concerns me, if I'm totally honest, is that we've been using human language for hundreds of years. And when we think about what is artificial intelligence, well, it's a large language model, right? Whereas we abuse the language that we speak on a day-to-day basis. We distort our language, we overgeneralize, we delete information, and that kind of shapes us as human beings. Like, for example, when I think of it, I might say something like, you know, when my wife's telling me off, she'll be like, "You never do that." And I'm like, "Never?" Like, that's not quite the case. There are times that I do it, you know, that's a generalization. Or it might just be, I don't know, you know, my children might say to me, "Oh, you've shouted at me. Does that mean you don't love me?" Like, not so much, right? It does, that's not the intention. It's just that I care, right? But we've generalized something in a certain way. So these are unconscious biases. And if we are now putting these unconscious biases into artificial intelligence, well, then that's where the danger could lie. And so, yeah, we're probably unintentionally, we can have the best intentions, but if we unintentionally are putting these unconscious biases into these computer programs and artificial intelligence, well, that just gets mirrored back to us on a much wider scale. And that's why we really need to make sure we've got the right ethics in place and the right guardrails in place. And then obviously then we can move forward.
And I think that really summarizes very succinctly the importance of unconscious bias, isn't it? We have to know ourselves. We have to go deep. We have to unlock what are our values, our beliefs. Where we talked about this earlier. Where did we come from? What's that impact of, you know, what Vangelis was saying about family, you know, beliefs? We just take them as norm. Whereas in a growth mindset, we challenge those. We reprogram our subconscious minds. We look at things differently. So our AI is only as good as what? As great as we are. So I'm going to just wrap up that little section a little bit quicker with the grace from the panelists and move now into our last area and then into the Q&A. And thank you for all those who are staying here. We're still strong. Thank you, everyone. You know, if you need to take another quick stretch, move your body. Let's get some energy going. Clap your hands. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Let's go. Because we want, as we know in the brain, if we're in a positive state, if we're elevated and have high energy, guess what? We receive the information. We're going to anchor it in better. We're going to be able to be more open to this information. And we're moving into mindset and fear and transformation, all about change. So I'm going to invite, we have a couple questions here. We may consolidate some of these questions down, but we're going to invite our wonderful friend and coach Deepa, Will and Diana, and Parameeta, and also Martha, but we're also going to invite a new coach as well. And I'm going to just go here to my beautiful notes and welcome Shamalia Kumar. Sorry, let me do that again. I worked so hard to get everyone's name. I even have it phonetically spelled out. Shamala. Shamala Shashikumar.
Yeah.
Shikumar. Thank you. My apologies. I really tried hard on that one. So thank you for the grace and accepting my English is not well in speaking. So I apologize for that one. She is an executive and leadership coach with 25 years of corporate experience in areas of finance, operations, sales, and human resources training and mentoring. She's an accredited International Coaching Federation as a PCC Level 2 since 2021. And she's coached more than 200 clients, and she has experience of over 1,500 hours, so knows what she is doing to help individuals navigate their personal and professional challenges, mostly fear and doubt, and empower them to take decisions towards achievement of their goals and their purpose in life, and balancing leadership positions and family life simultaneously. And this is why I feel you're a great addition to this panel as we begin our segment on the mindset. So let's open up to the very first question. I'm going to send this over to oh goodness, I'm going to have to say it. Shamala? Is that close, please?
Yeah, that's close enough, Shamla.
Shamala. I'm so sorry. Deepa, Shamala, and Martha. So Deepa, how should we mentally prepare ourselves for the unknown future, moving into AI and how it's going to move forward?
Yes, Sandra, Deepa has to leave because she's having the prayers. It's a special day here, so she had to leave.
Okay, perfect. Okay, thank you so much for that awareness. Why don't we go to Martha?
Thanks, Sandra. This question is a hard one because preparing for the future can be overwhelming. And I think Gavin said it was our responsibility. I believe so. It's our duty to make it simple because it's already complex. So simple to us, simple to our partner, simple to our family, to our team, and to our stakeholders too, and our customer, our clients. In one way to replace that fear, that anxious, with curiosity. And when we look with curiosity, things can change. Like, for example, kids. I have two, a daughter and a son, and they look over things like with all that curiosity, like making questions. So I like this question from Jeff Besson that is based on navigate the uncertainty. The question is, what is that will not change in the next 10 years? What is that? So we can anchor in these things or those things that are not changing. So we can focus in that thing so we can change the other one. So, for example, what is one thing? Can you write in the chat what is one thing that will not change on the next 10 years? That is important to you? That is important to your mental health? Okay, schools. Yeah, kids need to learn. Good. I'm gonna tell you that my main thing, like human connection, like relationships are not going to change. They're mostly getting more relevant now. So technology can go fast. We can be crazy focusing on how to learn faster. But what about our relationships? When people who we trust, when we are not feeling good, belonging. So preparing about the future, about AI, is not about knowing all the answer. It's about making ourselves better questions. It's about building, again, our mindset so we can stay focused, so we can stay curious, so we can stay connected. So that's what really makes us ready for the future. Thanks, Sandra.
Thank you. Thank you, Martha and Shamala. Is that even better? I hope that's
Yeah,
closer.
yeah, you're getting
Rica.
better. You're getting better. Thank you.
I'm so
Yeah.
sorry.
Thank you, Sandra. The question is
Shamala,
yeah.
yeah, what do you feel like how we mentally prepare, but maybe more specifically, what role does the mindset play in thriving with AI? Let's be specific about that. What role does mindset play in thriving with AI?
Yeah, thank you. The mindset is the biggest thing that human beings have to survive any catastrophe. We have experienced it in the COVID phase where nobody knew how to navigate it. But everybody pivoted. As a human being, I have a lot of confidence in the humanness and the ability to adapt to circumstances. That's what we saw. I mean, when I look back, what I did, what people did, we couldn't go to office. We brought the office home. You know, certain careers, actually folded up. I was a trainer. I used to travel to train. That folded up. So I became a coach, and the world became my playground. So the ability of human being to pivot and look for new solutions is what will sustain. And that is the mindset that we are looking at. The humanness of people, the ability to be in the present, the ability to carve out new things. Even artificial intelligence has been carved out by human beings. So it is stimulated intelligence, but human beings per se have an abundance of intelligence. So we'll dig deeper, we'll find new solutions. So even though there will be fear, there will be some uncertainty, but the mindset is to go back to what Martha said, go back to our roots. What is humanness? If AI is speed, patience is a virtue. We need to look into that. If we are looking at greed and accumulation, having a mindset of abundance is better. We spoke about growth mindset earlier. So everything that we look at, we need to go back to our roots and believe that human beings, as a community, as a connect we have with the whole world, we are responsible for the sustainability of the world. And that's the mindset we need to bring in. And that's why that mindset is so important. Thank you. I'd like
wonderful. Thanks, Shamala. Yes,
may,
Perinita. Yes,
thank
please.
you.
Thank you. We'd love to hear from you. Yes, thank you, Perinita.
Thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to say this. Very nicely put by Shamla. And for me, I think what the need of the hour is agility, adaptability, and acceptance. Acceptance that this is the new reality. For that, a metaphor that comes to my mind is imagining AI as a powerful wind. And we've all, like Shamla said, been through the winds of change in COVID. Now, if you're a tree and there's a strong wind, there are only two things that can happen. A fixed mindset is like being a rigid tree. When the storm comes, it risks breaking, and probably that makes it weaker. A growth mindset, in my opinion, is more like a sailboat. You don't fight the wind, but you allow the wind to take you along. Look at what strengths you have so that you can align and adapt, as I said, to go along. Mindset is everything in this current AI era. If we can, as we've said, AI can replace jobs, but as we heard, new jobs were also created over the last 50 years. So will AI totally replace every human job and intervention? Not really. If we can have that growth mindset, that it will take away something old, but will bring in something new, then I think, things will change. If I were to wrap up, I'd say it's not just about adopting AI tool, but it's about adopting an AI mindset, learning continuously and treating AI as a companion and not a competitor. Things will change.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
Perinita, that was beautiful. It's like, that's like a beautiful moderator capture. I think that was just so wonderful. But Diana had her mic open. I want to give her just a little bit of time here. I know we're almost at completion,
Yeah.
but I really appreciate your voice. Please go ahead.
Thank you, Sandy. I think that one of the words that it's missing, and I agree with everything that they have been that has been said, is resilience. We have to be resilient.
Mhm.
We have to be flexible with the growth mindset and everything, but also we have to have a mindset of learning, of feeling and having a mood of being an apprentice again, of saying, I don't know and I will learn, and feeling comfortable with that, because we sometimes feel that we are valued about what we know, and our own value, it's about and what we do. And we forget that we are human beings and not human doings or human knowings. That artificial intelligence would absolutely be above us, but in resilience, flexibility, and learning mindset, it's something that it's going to make a difference in between. We are still being part of the productivity world, or if we are left behind.
Wow. That was absolutely wonderful. Thank you for adding those keywords, particularly around resilience, because people nowadays absolutely need, they're learning, they're growing from all our experiences, because this is a very chaotic world with a lot of rapid change, and how we look at things, how we're able to be it, then we do it, we'll have it, right? It's about that transformation and understanding it's not external to us, it's internal. It's an inside job in order to fully be present as a conscious leader, to bring AI and use AI, not have AI master us as individuals. Well, I want to thank everyone that have been with us for the last, can you believe it, over almost 3 hours. We have gotten through all of our beautiful questions, and it's now time that I turn this back over to Ibrahim, my beautiful friend and compatriot, who we're going to open this up now to the audience Q&A. Appreciating, I know we've been here for a while. Do again what you need to do. Stand up, move around, shake it, whatever you need to do to stay present, because this is where you get to ask questions. And then Ibrahim will do this for about 5 minutes, and then I'll do wrapping and close up. And I want to thank everyone for their love, their attention, their eagerness to learn, to grow. And over to you, my friend Ibrahim. Thank you.
Yeah, just let's stretch a little bit and then be ready for taking off. My dear humans, at the end of this, with this inspiring session, let me remind you of one simple truth. AI is smart, but still is our creation. AI did not fall from the sky. It's a human built. And remember, the creator is always much, much stronger and smarter than the created. Yes, AI seems smarter than us at times. It can analyze faster, write better, maybe even give directions when we are lost. But it is not wiser than us. It cannot share the heartfelt love, give you a warm hug, or get excited over a created idea at 2 p.m. AI is brilliant at being a tool, but only humans are brilliant and wiser at being a human. The future will not belong to the most powerful machine. It will belong to the most emotionally intelligent person. So lead with humanity. And if your smart assistant ever tries to replace you, just take off your Wi-Fi off and make yourself a nice cup of coffee. Now, if any very short question for Sandra from the audience, just very, very short, I will leave it to Sandra to take over.
Sounds good. Thank you, Ibrahim. We'll take one or two of our beautiful participants. Anyone have any questions? Please feel free to just raise your hand and I will make sure that I grab anyone and all people. Yes, our wonderful friend Cecilia from Italy. Hello, welcome, Cecilia.
Okay, so hello everybody. I'm happy to see you all again. And I just wanted to add something, let's say as a brief summary to some remarks that everyone made. I mean, okay, AI is inevitable. AI is taking the lead, but according to me, AI was invented, was created by humans. So according to me, at the moment, there is a lot of terrorism being made by either by experts of AI or by someone, I don't know why. For example, they are saying, oh, you're losing your job, AI is going to replace humans. According to me, it's just something which generates fear among, let's say, humans. And okay, I'm reasonable, so I'm not afraid because I think I rely on my competence. But at the moment, I think that a lot of work has to be done on experts of AI who just try to, I don't know, to make other people afraid of the overpower of AI replacing human beings.
Thank you, Cecilia. We really appreciate your voice. And I think from what I've experienced today, it was more of a wonderful statement in terms of your experience through all of these pieces. So is there a particular question for any one of the coaches that you had in alignment to that statement, Cecilia?
Okay, I think the first who said copy and paste. I think that you can't just, it's just like, for example, writing a post, you read a lot of posts which are just copy and paste and of some others posts. And this is exactly the same with AI. If you've got your own brain, you believe in yourself, according to me, you can't just copy and paste someone other contents. I mean, I rely on my human power. So according to me, okay, you have to keep up with progress because otherwise, for example, when I began working, I was writing with my typing machines and I had to correct every single mistakes by hand. Now I've got PC, everything is automated. Okay, that's fine. But you can't just think and say, it's just absurd in my opinion, to say that AI is going to replace human beings. It will never be like this, in my opinion, not because I don't want to and I don't believe in it, but you have, let's say, to go, AI has to go hand in hand with human beings. Even in medicine, for example, robots are being used by surgeons, but robots themselves will never operate human beings because, as I said, I'm joking, but I said a robot would remove a kidney instead of a lung, while a human being knows what to do. So this is
and Cecilia.
And this is the reason why
I agree.
I feel quite comfortable, notwithstanding everybody is saying, oh, you are going to lose your job. Okay, it doesn't matter. I'm going to sing and dance all the day long, but it will never be like this because robots will never replace human beings, in my opinion.
Yes, yes, yes. Thank you for voicing your great thoughts. I really appreciate them, Cecilia. They're always very thoughtful, and I appreciate what Perinita has in the chat box. And again, coaches, feel free to respond in the chat box. I know we're coming to the top of the hour, so I just want to make sure I go to Hamida. Hamida, we'd love to hear your question. Maybe just for one particular
Hi,
coach, or if it's
everyone.
just a general. Thank you,
Do you
Hamida.
guys
Yeah,
have
just
my
ask a
voice?
question. Yes, we can. Thank you, Hamida. What is your question? And we'll have one coach ask, and then John,
Sorry,
and then we'll complete.
do you all
Go ahead,
have my
Hamida.
voice?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, we can hear you.
So
Yes, Hamida.
hello, everyone, and good night. So hope you all doing well. So it is me, Hamida. I'm originally from Afghanistan. So this is an honorable, and obviously I'm so happy and glad to be a participant in this meeting. So according to me, I want to share my own personal perspectives as a student that has lack of information, might be, or lack of data, but still I'm here to share my personal point of view and according to my research. So basically, I think robots or AIs cannot even replace humans being. Like the power that humans being hold with themselves, it is impossible for robots or machines to have them. Because humans have emotional intelligence, they have communication skills, they have like critical thinkings, ethics, and the power of real understanding. So I think it is out of mind to think that robots do have them, because absolutely they are under our control. So it is in our hand whether we want them to be super and to get in a level that we are. And obviously, I think we need robots in our life, but it cannot replace us. It might replace us in many jobs like factories, in many other industrial. So still, like if we give the example of therapists, like they can understand us, they can feel us and emotionally, that a robot cannot be a therapist. They might guide the therapist, but not be the therapist by themselves. So these all
Yes.
are about my perspective and points, and I think
Aw.
humans are super intelligent.
And I appreciate
Thank
you.
you.
I want to honor. Thank you, Hamida, for coming on.
You're
Thank you for
welcome.
joining from Afghanistan. That's so beautiful. I love this global community. I love that you're here. Welcome to the community. And again, just make sure everyone that we're all connected. Arafath will put in the chat of how to learn more about the Mega Global Hub and everything that we do. It's just amazing resource. Over to John. John, you are our last beautiful question. Thank you for coming today. I appreciate you very much. What is your question, your thought? And we will take it for our next. We're going to conclude pretty quick here, though. Thank you, my friend.
Thank you, Sandra. Can you hear me all right? I've just put my
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, it's
Okay,
wonderful.
great.
Thank you.
This has been really interesting. Some fascinating speakers here, and I've learned quite a lot. I've got my pen and paper here, so I've been taking a few notes. A
Great.
question
I'm
that came
happy.
up. A question that came up for me yesterday. I was doing an article on AI. AI is a mirror. You know, it's built to follow our patterns. It builds on us. So, and it's evolved. It started in the States, but it's now in Europe and that, and in the UK where I am.
Oh, you went on mute, John. John, you muted yourself.
So my ChatGPT is starting to learn my patterns. It mirrors us. One of the challenges that came up in the group I'm in the other day is that there's a lot of people treating it as a, let's say, a god. Some reference to people are referring to it, and I think it's been talked about loosely today, where people are, it's becoming their sole companion. It's taking over. You know, it's easier to have a relationship with a computer, with my laptop, than it is with the guy down at the pub. The challenge I have is,
when I'm coaching people, so I'm an AI consultant, implemented also business coach for years. When I'm talking to business people and I can see this, I can't bring it up because this is a step too far. So my question to the panel today is, how do you introduce the fact that AI is starting to really influence you as a business leader and not necessarily the right way? You know, you have confirmation bias with AI. It draws you down a path. You as a leader, as a business leader, can draw you down the wrong path. So I'm just interested how the panel today, how they relate to their clients in, AI not helping them.
Well, this is a beautiful question, and Brian, thank you. I'll address and have Brian address this in the last minute. I did say we would conclude, and I want to hold space and be respectful of this question being asked. But I know a lot of people have to leave at the top of the hour, so if you can maybe take 30 seconds, Brian, just to answer that question, then we will make sure we respond in the chat, and in future communities. We also have a second day tomorrow that maybe we can bring this question as well, because I think it's an important one. Go ahead, Brian.
No, I just handle it. What I suggest up front in any AI project, if I'm talking to an executive, is that AI is another employee. It is not your leader. It's nobody's leader. It's another employee. And if they think about it like that, and they have that mindset, then they'll be much better off. Thank you. Thank you, Sandra.
Oh, I love that, Brian. And thank you for concluding that, because it really is another partner. It is another employee. And I think that's a great reframe. So in conclusion, this is day one. We've got day two tomorrow. So repeat, different, beautiful, amazing coaches. I hope some of our existing coaches can also come back and share with us. And there we go. Here's day two. We have Nigel and Dr. Larry and Dorcas and Jorge, Mohammed, Ibrahim, Martha, Alessandro, John, Hamat, Kevin, etc. We will be here tomorrow, same time. My takeaway today was heart, responsibility, resilience, be open, accept, look at ourselves first. It all begins with ourselves, self-awareness, the transformation. The choice today is to choose to look at yourself and look at things differently. Because if we know ourselves, then we can lead with ethics and with responsibility and be able to build that AI agent that's working with us, for the good of humanity, and making it accessible to everyone on this planet. That's the gift that the technology can give. So that's my short summary wrap up. Arafat, before we close, apologies for 2 minutes over. Thank you so much, Arafat. Over to you for the last words, Arafat.
Yeah, thank you everyone for joining today. Okay, it's been a great discussion, great panel, and great, amazing audience. A lot of questions I can see in the chat box also. Also, feel free to share your questions if you have any. We have our lifelong learners group where we share every of our questions, and we share our valuable thoughts by our coaches. So we are available in megaglobalcoaches.com. Whichever coaches you want to connect, feel free to log into www.megaglobalcoaches.com. All the experts from all the areas, all the aspects of life, you will see there, and feel free to connect them there. So thank you all for joining, and let's have our final photo. And I request everyone, if it's okay for you, please turn on your camera and let's have a final photo for the day one. Everyone ready?
Thank you for coming on. Yep.
The first photo, just give me a second. 1, 2, 3. Great. Got the first one. Just give me a second more. Let me take one more. Final one. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Oof. Got it.
Awesome. Thanks, everyone. Thank you. See you all day two tomorrow. Same